IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with clapperboards. Did you know that when a movie is being shot, the audio is recorded separately from the video? It's not like on our phones where the whole video and audio is recorded at the same time on the same device. Hence, they need a way to combine the video timelines and the audio timelines. And this is where the clapperboard comes in. It's that slate that you hear going clap once the director shouts, "Action!" As soon as the clapperboard snaps shut, the actors begin their scene. The clapperboard is their cue to begin acting. Similarly, when we record our podcast in the studio, the sound engineer claps and then off I go recording the podcast. I used to love the clap and then the podcast would just flow so well. The clap was a cue to begin the process. In the same way, our habits also follow a similar structure. For them to start, they need a cue. Like I often use the example of making my coffee being the cue for meditation, or playing particular songs to be the cue for my exercise. When you go to the bathroom, looking at your toothbrush is the cue to brush your teeth. Or seeing a bottle of water is a cue to drink some water. We've covered so many such cues across all the Habit Coach podcasts and videos. The cue sets you up to do the habit. Tying your shoelace is the cue to go for a run. Your morning alarm is the cue to wake up. And the list goes on and on. Very often, we become robotic and mechanical. We no longer think about things as we do them, and to an extent, that's the beauty of a habit. But once in a while, suddenly, we lose track of a habit that took us a while to create. We had a very good habit going. Things were going perfectly, and all of a sudden, the habit just seems to stop. I often get asked this question, how to stick to a habit? And this is a tricky answer. There are many ways to make sure a habit sticks, like make it small, make it easy, etc. But why do habits just fade away? That is a more serious question that I will give one answer for today. There are many more reasons, and those are for future episodes. So one common reason for a habit falling by the wayside is called cue fatigue. This is when our body no longer acknowledges the cue. And this is because it has become a part of your daily life and soon glosses over it. Our brain is forever filtering out information, so it doesn't overload the system. For example, do you see the design on your curtains or the design on your wardrobe whenever you enter your bedroom? No, because the brain filters that out and it forms part of the background. It's like the noise of auto rickshaws or cars on the road. We don't hear it at all because the brain filters it out. Now imagine if you've been using the same water bottle for the last 1 year. One day, the brain will just add the bottle into the background and you will no longer notice it and hence drink from it as its cue. We have gotten tired of the cue and not the habit. Fatigue has set in for the cue. When you realize this, immediately identify a new cue. Change the song, change the bottle, change the spot you sit to write or read or meditate. Bring new stimulation into the cue and habit so that the interest remains and the fatigue disappears. You have to keep playing around with it. Every few months, to keep things fresh, try something new. So your super simple habit to improve the retention of all the other habits is to change the cue and avoid cue fatigue. Do something new and have fun with it. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome 180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. Do definitely check out our social media accounts. We've been doing some really cool stuff over there. There are a bunch of recommendations from hosts. I think you'll really enjoy the content that we're putting out there. And make sure you don't miss your favorite shows. Cyrus Says has been putting out some great stuff, as is the Pragati podcast, all about policy. Has been doing some really, really fun stuff. The guys at Football Shitball and Football Twaddle are continuing to release episodes as well, which are really interesting. Best of S. Anupam's been having guest after guest, just killing it. Pulya Bazi's been doing so well. Postcards from Nowhere. All these shows are really, really doing well and really, really putting out great stuff. Appreciate the efforts that the hosts are putting in the lockdown. And thanks for listening, and we hope to catch you again next week.
Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Don Bradman, and now Cyrus Brocha. Okay, probably not in the right company. I mean, Don Bradman is Australian. But it's called Cyrus Says, a wonderful show about everything. Find the show on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts.